The experience of visiting Khao Phu Kradueng as a group of students. The story arose from the fact that they made an appointment to travel and stay overnight at Phu Kradueng before traveling. Grandmothers of the seniors in your group have warned them to pay respect. Lord of the jungle, Lord of the mountains. As an adult who cares for grandchildren, but when it arrived in the morning at Phu Kradueng, he didn't think of all 10 of them traveling together, and no one had ever visited Phu Kradueng before. One of them, named Boy, is skeptical and outspoken. Not very good at speaking in the style of typical, very harsh teenagers, some rude, some challenging, some forbidden by friends. Friends say that he talks very rough. Until unable to speak on broadcast, during the first day of traveling on Phu Kradueng, Boy kept talking wildly. Then their group got lost in the forest. I understand that during the waterfall group trip, I couldn't find a way out for a long time. The group's eldest began to feel uneasy. The same person Grandma told him to pay homage to the Lord. Therefore raised his hand to pay respect to the largest tree in that area, with understanding that he had to ask for forgiveness from the way, and after asking for forgiveness for a while, he saw red wood. It looks like a stick with a bent end curled up like a walking stick. He also understood that the end of the stick indicated the way out, and decided to follow that path by taking that piece of wood with him. After a while, he actually walked out of the forest. After getting out of the forest, he continued walking to Pha Lam Sac. When reaching Pha Lam Sac, it's not too late yet. So we just sit and relax and wait to see the sunset in that area. They didn't bring a camera, only a mobile phone to take pictures. At that time, there were many other groups of tourists with the same goal. Some take pictures, some rest. With being all men and with the fervor of Boy, he shouted in a loud voice that go out to the cliff to hear the echo return. At that moment, Boy felt like someone was staring at him with annoyance. He understood that it was other groups of teenagers in the area. So he asked his friends if there was any group looking at him. Friends said that no one was watching. When watching the sunset, they took a smooth route back to the office. Because they have no one to prepare a flashlight and never come, try to walk in the middle group to hope to rely on the light and follow other groups. But when walking on, the light from the front group of tourists slowly faded away. They sped up their pace to catch up. It turned out that the light from the front group had not caught up. Turning to the back, there were no other groups following them. Only one of them remained. So hurry up and walk faster. Walk until you reach a shop along the way, and then ask for the way back. And can only buy 2 candles because there are only 2 candles left at the store, and the store recommends a shortcut because it's late, understanding that it is a path. Fa Na Noi, Lord Buddha has mercy. They continue walking. At first, 4 of them walked in front of the board. As they walked, the path narrowed until they had to walk in a single line by having the first person hold 1 candle and the last person holding another 1 book. Boy is the last person. Along the way they would count from 1 to 10 at regular intervals because it was so dark in case anyone was lost to find out. The path gradually descended. The grass on both sides of the road almost flooded the head. The fog floated low to the ground. Looking ahead, only the sky was dark. Looking below the treetops, only pitch black was seen. Visibility is only a candlelight radiance. While walking, everyone felt something unusual was happening all the time. Others felt as though someone ran past them with their hands in the grass along the way. But no one dared say hello when walking. The friend walking in front of the boy whispering that he saw someone, boy patted his friend's head and said where people do not see it, but many people said that they saw a very big black person squatting, hugging his knees, looking at them on the side of the road, not very far away. Distance from the candlelight you can see from the corner of your eyes because you don't dare to turn around. Walking for a while, boy felt like someone was breathing down his neck. And feeling very tight in the chest, they reached a three-way crossroads, discussing whether to turn left or right. And start counting to check friends whether it's complete or not. Count to 9 and then be silent. There is no boy's voice. At first I thought that boy was teasing. But not looking for, some of them hurried back to their original route. And found boy lying on the side of the road in such a way that from the waist down in the forest the upper part is on the corridor. Like someone dragged by pulling his leg into the forest. Friends help each other pull it and call out to the rest. Those who followed ran and kicked the roots and wounded one of them. At that time, boy had twitching eyes, stiff body. His friends were shocked, helping to massage his arms and legs. They all felt that boy's body was very stiff. All over the body, can't squeeze down, won't collapse at all, so they try to carry the boy by placing one person under both arms, the other lifts his legs and walks enough to lift up, and while walking front person cried that he saw a snake ahead. Everyone saw the same snake, 9 people except boy, who was unconscious. But the serpent turned into a branch before them. They confirmed that it was actually a snake at first. The person carrying the 2 boys started not giving up. Even though a single boy, the 2 bearers were much larger. Had to get a friend to help carry another one. Have frightening seizures. The eyes are also left. At that moment another friend saw a light moving in, and it turned out to be a light from a motorcycle. Even though at first I didn't hear the sound of the car at all. The driver was a man wearing a ranger uniform and wearing a balaclava. The driver told him to get the injured person into the car and have another person get into the car to catch the injured person so that he would not fall. So the same senior went up to support the boy and brought the red wood that was collected for another junior to hold. Male motorcyclist advised the rest of them to turn right at the intersection ahead to return to the office. Will arrive sooner. The senior who was riding along the road said that when he reached the intersection, the motorcycle turned left and said that the road was more convenient. And the senior told the driver that he came to visit. Well, friends or nothing. Suddenly, the driver laughed, his voice changing. From the beginning, the voice was very big and said in a crafty way that it's all right. At that time he was very scared, but drove them to the wooden bridge behind the office. The officer who drove the car told him to take the boy to the infirmary, which at that time the boy was not as heavy as before. To the infirmary, the nursing staff gave him medicine and lie down first. Personally, the seniors went to buy warm food at the store for boy to eat. Upon returning to boy, he recovered but was still confused. Let's talk about the other 8 friends who walk back. By then the candle had gone out, and they were relying on the light from their cell phones. The whole time they walked like someone was following them all the time. And one friend was thrown into a hole 2 times, with all friends confirming that no one was teasing. Then they saw the light ahead. It was a light in the house, something like this. And they hurriedly walked. But the more you walk, the farther, and then the light disappeared, but they kept on going. But it keeps coming back to the same place. Everyone started to start to flutter. Then someone raised their hands and prayed to the wood on the forest king's house. He asked to come to the accommodation once, and soon a friend broke the grass that flooded the head on the side of the road, coming out to see the light from the office. Though not far away, they were lost for a long time. They were met by 2 officers dressed in military uniform, wearing balaclavas, who shone a light in his direction and said they had found them. At first he thought that his friend who came with the car tell people to come out and look for them. But no, and the 2 soldiers disappeared somewhere. Then they arrived after the office. He had arrived at the accommodation. And they lit incense sticks to ask for forgiveness at the officials. Walking back, Boy just came out. Without any symptoms in the morning. Boy told me that after he came to his senses, he was still conscious when he fell down. Saw that there was a big person looking very angry. Causing to fall and press the chest. When friends tried to carry him up, they followed up asking for an officer who sent Boy. To be thankful, it appeared that there was none. And the officials said that no one was wearing that kind of uniform. As for the merchants, when they heard the story, they commented that they were assistants to Lord Buddha, who came out to help people often. When they walked back to look at the path they had walked last night, found that there weren't any big trees that I saw last night. There was only low grass that didn't reach knee height. There is evidence that the original route is a plaster trace, which he used to fall on the side of the road. There is no way in the direction that the motorcycle is running. It's a field, and the 3-way intersection is only valid on the right. Because on the left side where the motorcycle turned last night, the path lacked water, went into a deep trenches that could not be used. It is a miracle that combines many things. Before getting down from Phu Kradueng, the big brother was grateful to the staff and leaned against the back of the largest pine tree around the tent area. When they came back down to the foot of the mountain, I went to pay respect to Phu Kradueng's shrine. It turns out that in court there is a red walking stick style, just like the wood they used when they were on the mountain. They therefore thought that the Godfather went to help them. The program hit 10 to take a picture to compare with the picture on the mobile phone is very similar. Boy came out to open the front door for him and said that he had brought someone with him in front of the house. Big Red Eyes Boy did not tell his mother, for fear of being scolded, but told my sister. Then my sister finally told her mother after hearing her mother tell about the dream when Boy went to Phu Kradueng. That he had a dream of seeing a big tree spreading king came like a hand chasing a small child. Boy's mother cried and told him not to do it, so she felt pity for the boy. In the dream, he didn't see him as a boy, he only saw him as a small child. While Mother Boy was sitting talking to her sister, she heard a voice telling them to ask for forgiveness from me. And then they told my mother, therefore took Boy to make offerings and take a holy bath.